Reached the appointed hour, so we'll start this meeting. If we could start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm Kathy Cook, and I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. And if I could have the other board members introduce themselves.
Mark Meckus.
Tim Bryan.
Bruce Smitherman.
And if we could begin with approval of the October action minutes. Can I get a motion for the minutes or comments?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the October action minutes.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's a unanimous approval. And we'll start with our final reviews. And the first item that we have on the agenda is the St. Francis High School press box at 13440 Cogburn Road. And if the applicant would come forward and just give your name and an overview of what it is that you're requesting, please.
I'm Drew Bucciolato. St. Francis High School is requesting the addition of a press box adjacent to football bleachers. I believe the press box is about 8 feet by 30 feet long, with the passage in the middle underneath, and having basically 3 rooms above, one for visiting coaches, one for the home coaches, and the largest section in the middle would be for the announcers for the game. I believe this would be in sync with the other architecture that we have with this project.
Yeah, and this is basic. I mean, it's behind the building, screened. It's not even visible from the main roadway.
It's about 800 feet from the road.
Yeah. I don't have any concerns with this. I don't know if any of the board members have any questions.
It's the same siding, same as the rest of your buildings,
Right.
which are all great. By the way, we probably need a position on this board. You've been here more than we have recently.
I feel like Norm on Cheers.
Any questions or concerns? Is there a motion?
Oh, it's wonderful. What are you going to do for baseball?
I got to finish football for that first, but baseball, we're just cleaning up, adding some additional shrubs and plants. When they put in the new electric power to feed Bethany Bend High School, they
Right.
did some trimming there. Originally, we had the Fulton County had asked us to put in pines, and we put in some hardwood, so now we're thinning out the rest of the pines, and we'll add a few more hardwoods on that ridge. So.
Still very nice facility. Very nice.
It is.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the project named St. Francis High School press box as submitted.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that's a unanimous approval. Thank you very much.
Those appreciate your help.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Brayburn amenity, and it's at 3136 Haybridge Lane. And if the applicant would come forward and state your name.
Good evening, Michelle Horstmeyer with John Wheeler Homes and Neighborhoods.
Good evening.
A couple boards here that I believe are what was submitted in your package. Our single-family homes do not come before the board, but I've been here with the townhomes. All of our commercial buildings have been approved through the board, and this being a commercial building for the clubhouse is here for your review. And I apparently will be here next month to deal with the 100-foot building setback issue, but we didn't know about that in time for this meeting. So
Do you have a plan of where that's located inside the subdivision, of the amenity area?
Don't have an overall. I do have this is a site plan that shows the main road.
But it doesn't show where.
How-
Show the overall now. It is.
I'm pretty familiar with, is it internal past the townhomes or?
So if you go past the townhomes and get into where the big circle is,
Okay.
there's a small circle park. It is directly beyond that small circle park, next to our model home and sales center.
Okay. I like the look of it. It's very residential.
I do
and-
too. I like it. It's good.
It's not, I did bring the floor plan. I don't know if that was included, I don't believe that was included in your packet. I might mention that, but it's not an overly large building. It's about 1,800 square feet, mostly a big gathering spot, small kitchen for functions, and then a fitness center.
So the only exterior lighting on the building is the sample that you, I guess the cut
So
sheet that
there's
you.
2 coach lights on
Okay.
the front, and then there'll also be some, and then there's coach lights on the rear, and then the porch will have some can lights. There's recessed can lights on the floor.
Very
Angela,
nice.
will this be back before us with the 100-foot setback?
Right,
Yes.
they applied state court variance for the setbacks, so we have courtesy review.
I like the window detail. I think that adds a lot to the smaller building to have the different details on the windows that you have. That would be important that it be maintained during construction.
Definitely, windows are very important.
Is there any other questions or concerns for this building?
Not for the building,
And I guess we'll see the site plan next month.
Motion?
Yeah, you're the motion maker tonight.
I'm the motion maker, okay. Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the project named Brayburn Amenity Package, Brayburn Amenity, as submitted.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that's a unanimous approval. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. Next item on the agenda is the Bethany Bend gas station. We're looking at a canopy that was submitted. You will give your name, please.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Mike Rice Custom. I am the general contractor for May. My apologies. I'm not prepared. I didn't know exactly what this was. He called me. He was missing a flight, and he said, go in my place. And
Lucky you.
We'll take it easy on you.
Now, I know a little bit about it. I'm GC and I work the building. And I didn't know that he had submitted something. Again, I'm sorry. I don't even have that.
That's okay.
What he submitted. He did tell me that there's an answer required that he had to put in, and that he could move that. I knew that it wasn't flat, and an answer was required. And the shingles are going to match the building facade. And that's all I know.
Okay.
So,
Well, we have the plan that he submitted. We originally had talked about that it had to be a pitched roof, and I think there was a city council condition that said it had to be a pitched roof, and if it was financially feasible. So it was discussed that maybe that's not financially feasible for what he was doing here, so we talked about doing a mansard roof. But the one that was submitted, it is not what we were looking for. It's very small. The pitch, I don't even know that you could, it's about a 2-foot or 3-foot pitch. You wouldn't even be able to see that, I don't think. It would look like a flat roof if you were, at eye level, 5-foot level. So I had found one picture from the internet of what we were looking for was something that had a taller pitch, and then we also have Tim, who's an architect, that has sketched something out in general for you that we can give you to look at, but it has a 6-foot.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Just let me look at it. while I'm
Yeah,
talking to
okay.
him.
What's the pitch on that? Tim?
6 and 12.
6 and 12 pitch on the roof.
I'm going to give them this one.
I gotta give him that one. Okay.
And she's going to give you a drawing of something that we've sketched.
oh, the drawing or something that would be acceptable.
Yes.
Do you want to give him
Do we need
picture also?
the? Do we need the photo? We'll give you the photograph also.
Where'd that go?
If we can locate it.
Somewhere.
I think I probably have it. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, that
Yes.
says a lot right there. Okay. That helps.
So you're saying,
But he did follow, having the one color band, the neutral color band. He also
Bricks on the posts.
bricks on the post,
Yes.
which we had asked for, and we had also asked for just the clam shell instead of all of the signage on the canopy. So he did follow that.
We're getting closer.
okay, so, is this, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I understand it, so I can explain it intelligently. Is this what he submitted for you? Haven't seen it.
Yes, that's it.
That's the last submittal,
That's the last.
the last one.
So.
Most current.
Would you like my copy that's colored? You can have this. You can have it if you want it.
So we're adding the-
It needs to be 6 foot.
Yeah, we're just taking it on up higher.
Above
That's
that,
all.
starting
Look at-
above
there's a
that
photograph
board.
too that might help as well. There's a,
And does this need to be resubmitted
Yes,
Yes.
one more month? Is it off monthly?
yes.
Yes.
We started building it, so.
where's the photograph?
I need to ask about public comment because I think we have some here.
Okay, thank you for reminding me of that.
You're welcome.
I think she's going to have
Since we
another.
all know what the issues are, is there any way, or is it acceptable for them if this is agreed upon in 24 hours to do anything to? Because that's not. He's been through a lot, and how long you wanting to hold up for that?
We can, what you can do is probably submit it to staff, and if they want to email us the rendering, the photo.
That'd be good.
We can all kind of look at it and do a proxy vote
Yeah.
by email.
We want to help with that because I know it's been a long time. So
Yeah.
Please, that would be nice.
Why don't we can do that, but let's open it up to public comment, see if there's any public comment on this particular item to make sure that, I know that there was a lot of public input during the
must be
public
further.
hearing, but seeing none, we'll
Other
close
building.
that section. But I'm okay with him resubmitting, they scan it and circulate an email. Would that be okay with staff? Okay.
Yes, amend these drawings. If you'd like to have this, seriously, you can have this if you'd like to see what he submitted to us. Absolutely.
Amend and resubmit. these
Yes,
drawings.
yes. Right, we'll try to make it happen as quick.
So I think that the motion would be to defer it subject to
Amended
amending
final
or
drawings.
I think approve it subject to meeting the
approval of the request.
the drawing as
Yes.
rendered by the DRB and final email.
Final review.
Yeah. Something like that. I would be okay with that.
Thank you. And, I want to make sure I say it right. So it's been approved based.
On those changes.
Subject to redesign, basically, and resubmitting.
One change is the answer. The right height and measure. That's what I'm
Yeah, it's a
Height and
big
pitch.
change, though.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Yeah. To go from about 1 foot to 6 foot.
I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Okay.
The height and pitch of the mansard, and that's it.
I think it's-
Do we need anything, because we really didn't get anything in writing that has, he definitely approved that the two materials will be the same on the
I think
canopy?
whoever makes the motion should include that
Okay.
too. Yeah, the materials are the
things
same.
and shingles. and
Yeah.
all that. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And, subject to resubmitting a drawing that staff will circulate.
It's a lot. You want to write that down?
You're the motion man.
Okay, it's approved contingent.
Yes. On a redesign,
Approved with conditions.
yes.
Conditions.
Can I get the one, the
To
color
be-
one that you want?
Yeah. Here you go.
Submittal
File.
Yep.
of final drawing. New mansard roof dimensions. Specified mansard.
To a 612 pitch, correct?
Yes.
For the
I'm
six-
sorry, you're what?
We're getting
2A6.
a lot of underground and utilities done right now, so we'll be getting there next month, ordering this stuff.
Yeah, the island is there. Bruce, are you going to?
Sure, I'll be glad to.
Okay, Bruce.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Bethany Bend Gas Station number C based on the following changes. We have to reapprove reapprove the increase of the pitch to a 612 roof, so the mansard would be much more recognizable, and that the roof materials will match, the canopy and the gas station service center itself will match. Is there anything else with that? You have a second?
I think that's it.
That it?
In accordance with the drawings submitted. I think
Okay.
that's,
Yeah, resubmitted, of course, with new drawings so that we could approve it as quickly as possible for the project.
Thank you.
is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's a unanimous decision. We'll look
Thank you very much.
forward to staff sending us something. And then I have one more additional item that we've added to the agenda. It's for demolition, and the address is 14275 South Thompson Road. And this was added because it's not a historic structure. And if we could have the applicant come forward and state your name.
Good evening. I'm Steve Lowe with Capstone Building Group. I represent the owners of the property, Ken and George Jackson. And pretty straightforward that there is a estimation of 1960s, 70s era existing brick structure. Included a couple of photographs
Yeah.
that wish to have demo and now structure within close proximity to the existing structure that exists.
Now, I don't see that there's any large specimen trees that you'll have to be working around, so the equipment won't be close to the
That's
demos.
correct. There is one water oak that sits directly behind, you can see it. On the
Yeah.
photograph. I've taken the tree lists from Mark Long.
Okay.
Just from there's any specimen trees found on our property. I have already mentioned to Mark that we were going to be building structure on this property with a demo. And part of that process, I have to have him out to review any all trees anyhow.
Okay, so trees won't be removed as part of this.
The one that sits directly behind it, and it's not a specimen size for recompense.
So we'll make that subject to the arborist comments and
What's the curse?
the arborist review. So we'll need to make a motion on this unless anybody has any comments or concerns.
Just had my wrong cover for this.
This is the 14275 Jackson. That's
Well,
it.
this has this as a courtesy.
Oh, we don't have to make an,
Yeah,
it's just a
that's right.
courtesy review?
The demo, no, I didn't.
It's a final, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a final.
Yeah, it's a final.
Okay. Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the project named Jackson Residence for demolition as submitted, with taking into consideration that the arborist will be on site and recommend any trees that need to be saved.
Sure.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's a unanimous approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Moving on down the agenda, we have two items left, and they're courtesy reviews, so we won't make a final recommendation. We'll just make comments regarding the aesthetics. Both of these are variances. One's a rezoning with a variance. And this board looks at aesthetics only. We don't look at the hardship of variances or whether something should be rezoned and it meets the merits of a rezoning case. So if we could have the first one come forward, which is the B11018 Vickery Crest Amenity. And if you would state your name and Just tell us what's going on, what you're requesting.
Good evening. I'm Carol Middleton, Chairperson of Last year, a couple months ago. This is a big request that we all approved. Thankfully, our and basically what we have now is a bit of an awkward situation. We did not develop the property. That's a big request to demonstrate. And this is the overall amenity area. Here's the access inside the neighborhood, parking area, cabana, pool, and tennis courts. And basically we are in the middle of the project. The tennis courts are in, the cabana is about halfway built. When we went to get our pool permit, which is a separate permit with the city, they informed us that there is a zoning violation with regard to the placement of these facilities within the area that was designated and recorded on the plat for the amenity area, stating that these structures had to be within or no closer than 100 feet to a property line. Well, they're not. We have adjoining property eventually here. This is recorded here already, a couple of lots here, and this will be some future lots out here. So this took us completely by surprise, of course. Again, like I said, the plat was recorded probably in 2008. I don't have the exact date. I can certainly find it out. But we're halfway through, and we got a big surprise when we went to get our permit for the pool itself. So we are here trying to obviously get a variance to this particular clause in the municipal code.
Are there houses built on each side?
There's a house built here on lot number 53, and it is closed, and a gentleman named Mr. Baker, and he's aware of it, and he's signed a document stating he's aware of this. But that's, like I said, this is all undeveloped back here, and these lots are still controlled by us.
So it would be impacting the one neighbor?
That's correct. The one guy here in the neighborhood. It's just kind of an awkward layout. And the other thing that we have in this particular area, and again, we didn't develop the neighborhood, we bought the lots from the bank, is this is a sewer section here, and this is a transition point getting into septic. And so this area here for the amenity was the prime spot to put it in with the soil conditions changing in the shape of the area and that kind of thing. Everything fits in there. Obviously, we got the building permit for the cabana. They said go ahead with the tennis courts and all that kind of thing. So, and again, this is just where we are. It's a very awkward scenario, but this was all approved and recorded years ago.
What about landscaping? In that, I mean, you only have 5 feet on the side adjacent to that neighbor.
Very extensive landscape plan. Actually, this is what is shown here. Very extensive. This, of course, was approved by Mark Law. We've certainly been involved with him in talking about this. But very extensive tree package. I can't remember the number of trees, but trees, bushes, the whole area is going to be sodded. And then there's a bunch of natural area back here. Of course, it's a non-disturbed area. So it's really kind of tucked away inside the neighborhood.
How far would you say that structure where the house exists is to that property line?
The house is probably sitting right about here.
Okay, so it's close.
So it's close. I would say probably maybe 30 feet, 40 feet from the parking lot.
But he's going to provide you with a
Yes,
letter.
yeah, he has provided we have the document signed by him.
Yeah, I think the zoning on that it's probably a 25-foot side setback. Aren't they acre lots?
I don't know if they're acre lots.
They're on septic, right?
But no, this is a sewer lot. This is not a septic
Oh, it
lot
is.
here.
Okay.
Right, that's where, again, we have a transition here within the neighborhood. But I think the sideline out there, Brad, is 10 feet.
This house is a long way from the property line. It's probably 45, 50 feet.
Okay, all right, so it's a fair distance.
Okay.
Let's say, so, and the lot here, on lot 59, the house is going to be, sitting in this area about here. Again, I don't have a site plan for
Sure.
it. But again, you can see there's going to be a very good landscape screen here, landscape screen around the tennis courts as well. And all of this is, again, a non-disturbed area. And here's a community detention pond right here, which intersects the neighborhood. So,
Well, since we're looking at aesthetics, that would be our main concern, is just to make sure that there was good landscape screening.
okay.
Any other comments on this item?
take your letter from the one
Yes.
affected property owner
I
that
think
you
that's-
have,
that's-
take it with you to,
that's
no,
the
we don't
main-
need
Oh,
it,
you don't need it, okay.
Yeah,
but to your next meeting.
that's going to be the main thing.
What would the next meeting be? And actually, that kind of took me
For your
by surprise.
variance.
I thought this was going to be,
No, this is just, this board only looks at the aesthetics.
okay.
On lot 52, on the other side, are you going to have the same issue depending on where this house site might be?
I would say yes, we probably will. It's going to be,
But they will be moving in knowing.
it's
I
a
guess-
larger lot, it's a septic tank lot, and again, I don't know specifically where the house is going to go, but that's going to be controlled by the health department.
Yeah, the drain field could cause you a problem there too and push you around a little bit.
Pardon?
The drain field and everything that goes to septic could cause a little bit of a problem too.
It could, but again, what we have here is the very heavy landscape screening. But I would say that this house is probably going to be maybe the same distance from the parking areas lot 53. That's my best thought at this point in time.
Well, thank you. Good luck at your meeting. I guess that will be later on this month. And we have one more item, and it's also a courtesy review. We're looking at the aesthetics. Angela, does he need to get that? And this is for the Hardman store at 15260 Hopewell Road. It'll involve a rezoning as well as a variance. And if you would state your name.
My name is Deborah Anthony, and I have here with me David Carragher, and we're here on behalf of the applicant.
Yes.
And you're looking at rezoning and using the existing structure for a store, is that correct?
Or some small use that would be in keeping with the traditional use. The country store would be something like what you now see in the North Georgia mountains. It's not, not like it used to be like the convenience store of old, but this would be something more similar to what you see in the North Georgia mountains and sell specialty items and things like that. Or it might be appropriate for a catering service or a small retail, something without high traffic because it's only got 6 parking spaces. And it might maybe even a professional office or something like that that would use the building in such a way that it would our whole goal is to retain the building. And we sort of focus the layout based on that. This part here is going to remain agricultural, and then the use itself is intended to be insulated from these property areas, in part by moving the 50-foot buffers from between these two parcels so that they surround the property, the entire tract itself. And then there's landscaping strip here to kind of separate it from this house. And then the staff's already told us we're probably going to have some kind of like tall, fast-growing trees here along this line to shield this property owner possibly over here.
What about, so the house, the existing house goes with this? I mean, is this one owner? Or is it be?
Yes, it's one owner, and we're really just dividing up the tract to. I think there have been a lot of concerns in the past about the intensity of the use, and we have absolutely no thoughts of putting in a McDonald's or something like that there. Even the whole acre wouldn't be big enough for that, but we really wanted to focus on this building right here and to use it in some fashion so that it could be preserved.
Now, we're going to be looking at the aesthetics, whether, you have a rezoning case. That's something that the city council will have to look at because they'll have to take in consideration other, commercial areas that may have been commercial years ago. And I think that's probably one of the concerns is that if anybody can prove that one building was commercial at a certain time, that could be, make that a case, for rezoning. But they will look at that. What we're going to look at is the aesthetics. Now, you said that you want to keep the existing building. Would there be any changes that you propose to it?
No, I mean, pretty much as you see it on the present pictures or how it's intended to stay. And I couldn't find an interior shot of it, but it's pretty much the same layout, I understand.
So they added a porch, I guess, over the years. Just,
We did add a porch in the past about 5 years.
And part of that was because there would have to be a handicap ramp, and it just looks more aesthetically appealing to incorporate that as part of the porch.
signage also on the building, would that be non-illuminated? Something
right,
to
it
appear
would
like
be-
wood carving or something, you know?
And it's also,
Molded.
within the guidelines of the Northwest overlay, and certainly
Okay.
something like that would be appropriate to have period signage. I think most of the businesses would go into there would want something like that, but it wouldn't really be appropriate for.
Nothing beyond.
And we're anticipating that we're going to have some requirements on that, and I think they would be perfectly appropriate to.
And they will also, the landscape strips and the would have to be planted to standards if it was approved, to the overlay standards. So I think that, of course, they will make that decision as to whether the zoning is appropriate, but it would be important, if it was approved, that it be approved with a condition that maintain that structure that's on the property.
And that's actually our intent, so. And if we could get that great Coca-Cola sign on the side again, that would be wonderful, but I don't know if they might charge a lot to give those out nowadays.
I bet they do.
What happened? I guess they just probably filled the tanks in underneath the gas station.
I don't think they're there anymore.
No, they were removed prior to our purchase of the property by the previous owner.
And I think that the handicap ramp and the porch needs a type of stain or something painted.
For traction purposes.
I think it looks a little unfinished with the.
I can't imagine if anybody's going to go in there. I'm sure they're going to update it. I mean,
Or I guess it would be stained.
That might have been taken longer. Is it weathered any?
It's weathered. It has weathered some, but the handicap ramp actually is not installed in the photographs you see. What is there is just an extended.
Oh, the wood. Okay.
That ramp would have to run parallel with the length of the building in order to meet the grade.
I see.
So I've met with the building department, met out there, and gone over all those requirements.
at this point, there's not a potential EC or.
There have been, and it's really been a matter of not getting through this process first. So we thought if we went.
And Chatham doesn't want to sneak in a high rise.
I thought that I thought this had already gone before the city council. Has it not?
It did.
A year ago?
Several years ago.
Okay. It was withdrawn before it got to the city council. I see. Well, those are the only comments I would have. Are there any other comments from anybody?
The only thing is like being a hopeful light, just don't want to create a precedent
Yeah. I
that
think
causes
that's
anything.
something very serious that the council's going to have to consider. Is how many of these old houses exist that you can prove at one time were commercial.
Right.
But, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think that concludes our meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chairman, can I make a motion to adjourn the meeting of November 1st, 2011?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do you want this?